Hey guys, it's JC Chandler back again. I'm preparing for a market tomorrow, and this is my regular Sunday market. I've been away for 2 weeks, but I'll be back again tomorrow, and I've been preparing, and I just figured I'd show you what I'm up to and show you some of the techniques that I'm using, and hopefully you can use them. A lot of what I'm about to show you is based on the fact that I have a laser cutter / engraver. So it may or may not be something you can use, but I will show you a technique very similar that I've done before. I've shown you before that I was doing before I have my laser. So hopefully you can still use some of what I have here. Basically, what I have is, first of all, these are my favorite. These are a pair of wood blanks that I have on my site. If you like this shape and you want it, just let me know. But this is fabric on here, and I'll show you how I got it on there. And this is also fabric on here. And this is also fabric. Now, I've also worked with paper, and the same technique would apply. So this one has some metallics in it. This one does too, but not as much. But look at that. That's beautiful. So I'll show you the necklaces to these as well, some of the findings that I have, and I'll have links below. So let's get started. Some of the things that I've used is the files. This one is pretty used, but the files, the link will be below, and I've used the files very little on this project, on these pieces. Okay, so as a laser cutter owner, I've had to buy wood, larger 12 by 12 inches, but I had these and decided, instead of wasting a lot of my material, because sometimes it doesn't cut right, I've decided to use the smaller versions, and this has allowed me to add material to the shapes here. So basically we're dealing with coaster size pieces of wood and some fabric. So here's what I did. Now, initially, before I started using my laser, I would put the fabric on the wood piece, right, on the blank, glue it on, and then I would file the edges. Now, one of the things that I came across was a lot of the edges had some loose fibers when I put resin on it, which I didn't like because it made for a lot of work. It's doable. You can do it without a laser. It's just keep that in mind. You're going to have some extra fibers on the end that you're going to have to, even after putting resin on it, you're going to have to probably file down. Excuse me. So that's this material. And I decided not to even finish this technique because I wanted to put it on the wood and see how it would do on the laser. All right. And so I'm going to show you how I did it, but this is what it turned out to be. Like, this is fabric glued on with the method I'm about to show you. And then my shapes I cut. All right. And then, so that's the wood shape cut on the laser with fabric Mod Podged on. Nice and clean edge. So you can see the fabric fibers right there. No fibers here. All right. So here we go. I'm going to get you to the point of where I'm ready to cut. All right, so here we go. Mod Podge, any kind of glue, whatever you want to use. I'm going to use Today I'm gonna try this. We'll see. I'm gonna see what this does. It's for anything. So it says tile, glass, foam, stone, ceramics, and more. And this is a really good bond. I just hope it doesn't dry too quickly. So let's see what happens. I have it open, yeah. All right, so I'm gonna do this generously. I have a silicone brush that I'm going to use. And I just feel like this smoothens it better and I don't have any waste. And what I'm on top of right here, that's a silicone mat. So if I get glue on it, it doesn't matter because I can wipe it right off a lot easier. Let me put, and then I can scrape this like that. So I can get as much, I can get more out of my glue. Whereas the other brushes, like the foam brushes, I feel like they soak up a lot of the glue. For example, specifically Mod Podge. So let me do this. I'm gonna turn this over this way so I can make sure that I have it on evenly. There we go, pressing it down. Now another thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to varnish it down. My little card here. I'm sure there's money on here, but I don't eat honey baked ham, so we'll hold it for an emergency. All right, now that I've got this on here, I'm gonna want to do a coat on the outside. All right, so that's what I'm going to do. You know what, now that I think of it, I think I'm gonna do Mod Podge on the outside just because I know it's clear and it is thinner. So this is the one I have. It's a matte finish. And I'm not gonna worry about mixing. I'm just gonna dip my brush in here and go across like that. Generously. All right, so this is, I'm just showing you what I did to get the pieces that I've been posting lately. And hopefully behind the scenes will help you. Like now, see, I can scrape this and get some of my glue back and put it back in here. All right. So there's that. Let me get a little bit more off the edge. And I'm putting it back in my thing. So this is how I do it. Other people might have another way of doing it, but this is how I do it. It's pretty much decoupage, right? And I think this is a little too thick for me, so let me pick this up and do it off. I'm a little off camera, but I'm scraping some of this into my Mod Podge container. Waste not, want not. Now I'm gonna just go ahead and spread as evenly as possible, and it is drying somewhat as I do this, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm gonna leave it just like this. This will have to dry at least overnight for me, right? So that's how I get the fabric onto the wood pieces. Hit the corners. Make sure there's enough glue on the corners. Even though when I put this in the laser, I'm not even going to touch the corners, so I'm not going to worry about that. I'll show you a wood blank, what it looks like once I'm done cutting. All right, so here, hold on a second. So what I'll do is I'll put masking tape on top of whatever it is I'm using. So that this is this. I'll put masking tape on top of, like this was paper, and then I'll put it in the laser. And that's what it looks like after I cut the pieces out. So these are the pieces, not the same ones, but these are pieces that have been cut out of the wood, and now we're ready to work with these. Let me clean up a little bit. and then I'll show you the next one. Now this might be a pretty lengthy video, so feel free to fast forward, pause, or whatever you need to do if you don't want to watch the whole thing. It won't hurt my feelings. All right, so now that I have, after it dries, it looks like this, right? Stuck, dry, ready to be cut. Pieces are ready. So what I do after, the next step is I will take the pieces and stick them onto something so that I can put some resin on it. Now, I only paint a thin coat of resin until I'm ready to really do something with the resin, with the coating of the resin. So let me show you what I do. I just paint a thin coat on to the fabric. And the resin that I'm using, oops, not in that bottle, is JDiction. I'll have links below for everything that I mentioned here, but I've put it in a little bottle here. So, and I have a brush like that has some resin on it already, so you can see a little bit of the shine when I get it on here. So all I'm doing is brushing it on here. Go around the holes, and I don't have any specific format. I just try to, whoops, let me open it first. I just try to make sure that I have enough to, so what my plan is here is, by brushing it just lightly, enough to coat, is to give the next coat of resin something to grip onto, so that when I get ready to dome, and like I'm just tapping around the holes. I'm not brushing per se until I get into the wider spaces. So I want my next coat of resin to have something to grab onto. Sometimes, you know, when we're working with paper, the resin tends to lift up. I haven't had that since I've been using my laser, but I have had that when I use the fingernail file method that I showed you just briefly earlier, a few minutes ago. And I'm loving, I know that this video may not apply to some of you if you don't have a laser, but I'm telling you that the laser was a game changer for me. And it's allowed me to expand on my business. So God put me into my comfort, took me out of my comfort zone, and now I'm glad I obeyed. So here's what I do. And it's just dabbing, This is going to go under the UV light, and if you notice, it's already made the colors pop, which is what we love about resin, right? All right, so there we go. These are ready to go into the UV light, and I have one that I did prior to pressing record on this camera. So if you bear with me, I'm gonna go and get that out of the UV and put this in there. So it's, like I said, it's just a coat, very light coat. And I'm gonna put it under the UV light. And here's the one. Let's see. Oh, there we go. This is what it looks like after. Actually, let me do this one. So here are some other pieces that I have that basically that's what it looks like after you've resin. So I'll resin this with a brush, and then I will turn around and do this, but I'll stain it first. So I'll resin the front with the brush, like I just did, and give the mat something to stick to. And then I will coat it. So this is what it looks like. Once it looks like this, I'll put it onto my sticky mat and then it will stay. Then I will put my stain on. And once I stain it and it dries, I coat the back with a resin just like I just showed you, right? Now these are ready for me to really resin them, okay? I'm ready to go ahead and put that resin dome on these, and that's what I'm gonna show you here. So all of these pieces are pieces that I have on my website available for purchase. These are my own design. Not this one's not my own design, but these are, this one is and that one is. But I have a variety of shapes available, and if you're interested, my website will be below. All right, let's see what happens when I get ready to resin these. And my technique is very different from others, I'm sure, but this is my tool. I like to use this. This is a weeding tool. You can use anything pointy. You can use a toothpick, but one of the reasons why I like this is because it's got a longer handle, and I'm not with that tiny toothpick. Sometimes I'll use it, but right now this is my tool, my go-to tool. So I'm going to start with the larger piece, and then I'll show you how I take care of these very delicate corners and pieces areas. So I just pretty much, the first thing I want to do, what I like to do, is if there's a hole, I'm working with the hole first. All right, so I'm dabbing my tool, and I'm just putting a little resin on the edge, and I'm going to just tap right around the hole and make sure that that's taken care of. And then I will stretch all of this out. Stretching the resin out. I already know that I don't have enough, and that's just because I've been doing this for a little while, and I know this is not going to dome. I may put 2 coats on. This is just to get it started. So my technique, what I like to do is I'll brush the resin on. That's 1 coat. I will do this coat, and then I'll do a final one to dome it. See, that's not enough. I don't know if you can tell, but it's not pulling all the way over. All right, so I'm going to drop some more on here. This should be enough. Now, when you get to learn your tools, your resin, and your pieces, if you're new to putting resin onto anything, you'll get to know as soon as you start working with pulling the resin out. You'll get to know when you have enough or not. All right, so that one, it's not doming, it's just coated with resin. All right, so now this one, because it's bigger, I'm going to work with the corners. I want you to see I do the same thing when I have, whoops, I think I touched my resin. Touched it. When I first started, I used to get resin all over me all the time. All right, so we got this. Some people suggest wearing gloves. I've tried it, I can't. So I'll go to the corner like I did with the circle, the opening, and I'll just dab right at the edge. Now, because resin is self-doming, it won't, unless you put too much, it will not fall over the edge. So there's my corners. I'm gonna do this one too. Get that one ready, right? So now I can go ahead and pull this over. Now, hopefully I don't mess this up because this is a very intricate piece. You got some thin areas, but I figured I'd show you guys what I do, you know, because some of these pieces that I've been using, you gotta take some time. It takes some time and very, 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 very much patience to get some of these edges, because they are wavy, like this one has wavy edges. So you don't want to go too fast and have it fall over the edge. So I'm going to take my time here with you guys, if you don't mind, and just show you one of my pieces, how I do it, behind the scenes. And maybe it will inspire you, I hope. Hopefully it won't bore you. But yeah, this is one of my unique styles and I love it. And then the fabric that I chose, I think makes this shape pop. So there's that. It's not quite ready for dome. I'd put another coat on there. So I'm looking to see just where I need more resin, right? That little corner. And there's that. All right, so I'm gonna do one more shape and then I'm going to pause this and come back. Actually, I don't know if I'm gonna need to pause it. Let's go ahead. I'm gonna keep the camera rolling. So if I make any mistakes, you guys will get to see it. Ooh, that hole is close to the edge. Really close to the edge. All right, so this one has a heart. And usually on the hearts, I find on the larger shapes and the smaller shapes, those corners, they like to dip in. The resin likes to pour down in there, and I'm hoping that doesn't happen right now. So I'm gonna go to the edge, right to the edge, right to the edge. And let's see. I think I did okay on this one. We'll see. I'm gonna show you guys as soon as I finish pulling it out. Resin used to scare the heck out of me, especially when I first started. I was like, I don't want to have to wear a mask to do this. And then I found UV resin and I never looked back. Okay, I think I got you. So my Africa piece has been coated. All right, so this, sometimes I'll do a few and then I'll put them in the light and then I'll come back and do the rest. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put it in the UV right now and show you what's going on. All right, let's see, and then I'll show you some of the findings that I use on my pieces. So now here's another shape, couple shapes. I'm not going to do these on camera because of the corners. These corners require concentration points, these points. See those points? I'm not going to do that on camera because I don't want to mess these up. This is for my show this weekend. So I'm going to just, and these are delicate pieces too, but I wanted to show you. This is what it looks like before I put the resin on top like I just showed you, all right? So here's a couple of the finished pieces and some of the findings. Now, a lot of the findings that I get are on Amazon. So what you'll find is either it'll be in stock or not. So just kind of keep that in mind. So here's a finished piece. Let's see. I showed these in the beginning, but I want to show you. This is one of the pieces that I cut, and I put double jump ring and one of my findings in the heart. Alright, so here's the skinny on some of the stuff that I use. Like these findings are, it's a big set, and they come, these are actually toggle clasps. So what you have here is these two pieces, and it's one of those toggle clasps that you use to close, so it would close like this. That's all this is, and that's what I used on here. Right? And two 10mm jump rings, right? To put it on. That's what's on here with the ear hook. All right? And this one is also a toggle clasp. Let's see. Do I have that here? Yep. With the jump rings. This one as well. So that's what this is. And it's usually a toggle clasp. So that's what I used on that one. Right? With the double jump rings, and same here. I only had one jump ring on here, but on the pendants, I used double jump rings, right? And that is this set. That, the circle to that. So I'll use this for something else. Not sure what, but I will. And that's what this is. Now, when I was telling you about the intricate corners, look at these corners. I'm pretty darn proud of myself. I feel like I got some resin game. Look at that. So that takes some real focus and concentration, a steady hand, and that's the painted on coat, the second coat, and the third coat. That's what I did here. All right? So these are smaller than this one, so they took more technique. And then there's that. All right? All right. And I think that's it for, oh, here's another one. This is a toggle as well. Let's see, where are you? So you got that heart. So we have, and look at the difference. Jump rings, just jump rings will make a big difference. Double jump rings, heart, and another jump ring for the chain. And this is a chain that I got off of Amazon. I think this is a 24-inch chain, maybe 22-inch chain. Let's see, where's the heart? I can't find, there it is. Here's the heart toggle. There it is right there. So there you have it. That's what I used on this one. Yep. So I'm in love with all of my findings, a lot of the wood pieces that I have decided to cut, and I'm in love with my laser because it allows me to do so much more. If you guys want some wood blanks, you have some shapes that you want cut, contact me because I can do them for you. If you have an SVG that you can send me, we can get it cut for you and make sure that you have your own unique pieces as well. In the meantime, if you're interested in any of the shapes that I have in front of me, these are on my website and the link will be below. All right, I have so many more and more coming. So hopefully this was not a waste of your time, because I really feel like some valuable information, and maybe, you know, it'll inspire you. But thank you so much. If you think that this is some good stuff, please like, share, comment, and help me get some recognition on YouTube. I'm trying to build my audience because I have so much more that I am trying to do with you guys, and step out of my comfort zone yet again. All right, guys, till next time, JayCee Chandler signing out. Bye.